All right, so you want to get into real estate, but rates stack you and block you in. There's big competitors out there on the market. You're seeing huge construction deals going on. You're seeing houses for sale from developers on the MLS and in your neighborhood. I'm going to show you how to make money flipping houses, investing in real estate 2025, 2026 with zero money out of your pocket. Let's talk about the biggest obstacle: interest rates, credit approvals, bad credit. Listen, I've seen a lot of investors in my area going against these major brands and LLCs. This one person, maybe a girlfriend, wife, boyfriend, and they get together and they buy a house. One has a regular job, one's probably a stay-at-home person or a content creator making gig money. It's possible, and it could happen to you in your neighborhood. The trick really is not to focus on the competition out there and what's being broadcasted all over the internet. The trick is to lock in and try to find a deal. Finding a deal is not going online and seeing what deals are available. Those are deals that someone already found. Finding a deal is actually getting involved in marketing, and at that point you can negotiate your own interest rates and your own prices and your own deals without the influence of brokers and rehabbers and the MLS. Because if you can remind the seller that they need to sell, you're the first person they talk to, they haven't had time to calculate profits and rehab costs and investment rates and all that other BS that they use to inflate prices. They don't have a bunch of realtors calling them and talking to them about updating their property and making it a better deal for everyone, which is just usually the agent in the market. As a matter of fact, a lot of homeowners are doing deals off the market. Recent studies, the top 7 title companies in my city, in my niche, which is Florida, close between 200 and 300 transactions a month. That's per office. That's tens of thousands of deals being closed every single month all across Florida. And guess what? 50% to 60% are actually cash and off the market. So either you have a big wholesale company getting involved, or you got a big developer getting involved, or you got a mom and pop business that's buying houses with leverage using hard money or cash. What that means for you is stop relying on what you see on the internet for your data and start getting out and reaching out to investors, wholesalers, and homeowners. I know you're thinking, what the heck has changed? Well, the internet, AI, apps, TikTok, trending clips, search inquiries, algorithm. It seems to be very, very crazy how you can just Google in, I want a house, and all of a sudden you got investors calling your phone trying to make a deal. You got ads playing on TikTok and Facebook, people posting flipping houses out of nowhere. Everything you search on the internet is coming to your face. It's kind of hard to hide data now. Back in the day, 10 years ago, people weren't really sitting down posting on social media their revenue and their flips and their deals. It was high saturation but low visibility, which means if you had exposure on the internet, your property got flooded with people spamming you, marketing to you, competing you, outbidding you, and it would crash your business. Today, it's global. Everyone wants to get involved in real estate. Everyone's looking into credit repair and how to start an LLC and how to flip a house, and using the internet and social media to learn. So it's not necessarily a pool of apples. Now it's more like a pool of people that are just mingling and connecting. So it's a lot easier to gain data now and create leverage that can help you out. So what this means for you today: use AI, use software, use marketing and private groups to find deals. Stop relying on agents. Those days are deceased. I don't want to say the D word, but hey, yeah, what it is. Agents are working twice as harder now to find deals. They're making 100 times more phone calls. And in fact, per conversion rate, per industry, for real estate deals, finding distressed and motivated homeowners is as easy as making 100 phone calls, 100 emails, or 100 text messages, or a combination of all three. 30, 30, 30, whatever. 35, 35, 30, whatever. So what that means for you, if you want to find a deal, you need to find either a wholesaler that has off-market listings. You can Google those, look in classifieds or Facebook Marketplace. Or you want to find a list that you can pull from your courthouse, or you can buy one online. You can go on Fiverr, and you can skip trace and get cell phone numbers and hit the phone lines. I don't know about you, man, but driving around with an agent Looking at 10 houses is a lot easier than spending one day and banging out 100 or tens of phone calls. Hire yourself a virtual secretary. Because let's be honest here. If you're ready to spend a couple grand on buying and flipping a house, and you're trying to be cheap and skimp out on paying tens of dollars for marketing and lead acquisition, how smart are you as an investor? That's how I did it in my industry. We were pulling hundreds of lists, making thousands of phone calls, getting tens of deals, and closing on the easiest and fastest one. If you want to get more in depth on how I did it, I have a course. I'll drop the link in the description. But today is mainly about how to survive in this market and how to find deals. If you're wondering what kind of deals I found before, they vary from land, to multi-million-dollar mansions. We did a lot of marketing, a lot of traveling. I was even messaging homeowners on Airbnb and Facebook Marketplace for rentals when I saw empty calendars, rent prices decreasing. You don't have to just get a brand new list from nowhere. You can use people that are already in the industry and look for signs of distress. So me personally, I was able to pick up a 5-bedroom mansion in Fort Myers for way under market value. I didn't personally close on the house. It was a wholesale deal. Actually, it was a double close, and the spread was huge. They didn't have time to do research. They didn't have time to do estimates on their property and surveys and drone footage and price everything out. And me and my team had everything ready to go. I had a drone at the property. I had photographers and a contractor there within a matter of days. She was so impressed with the drone footage and my team, she signed a contract. The house sold for about 1.6, I believe it was, and we had it on contract for 1.3. Do the math. Similar cases here in Miami and Broward County where we remind people of their interest and need to sell. We give them contracts as fast as possible, and they lock in the price. If someone trusts you, if someone sees you or hears from you a lot, if you're keeping up with them throughout the days and the weeks, there's a good chance they're going to prefer dealing with you before going to an agent. I'm not saying avoid 100% agent properties. I'm just saying if you want to get an easy flip, getting it under market price is almost a guaranteed way to get funded. And why do you think that? Well, the interest rates are rising because the bank is seeing less money involved and more work into buying and getting and dispositioning properties. The foreclosures, the lawyers, the taxes, the fees, the chasing, the call centers, the depreciation, the correction of the market, it's hard to keep up with. So if you propose a deal to a bank that you need funding for, and you have, let's say, 100 people with way better credit than you, way better cash, but their deal is actually equal to the market value, the bank or lender, especially the underwriter, is going to be pushed towards properties that have a bigger spread, which is more equity. Properties worth 200K, your offer is 100K. They'd much rather work with you to get you funded for really cheap and give you the best interest rates than to work with the guy that was overqualified for the high interest and low equity house. It's a perfect situation. I had a deal I was working with in Fort Myers. The purchase price was $145,000. The ARV, the area, was over 200. It was a no-brainer. When I first tried to get funded from an FHA company, they shut me down. They used my personal credit, my personal job to qualify. They ignored my business because of tax reasons, and all the money I was making didn't mean squat. So I immediately got funded from a partner that knew another lender that all they cared about was the numbers. They didn't ask my social security number. They didn't ask for my financials. They simply said, send us the file from the previous lender, send us the property, and send us your bank statement. They took a look at the property, they took a look at the ARV, the recent sales, and within 6 hours, I got a phone call saying I was approved. And as far as the down payment, this is where this helps out also finding properties under retail. You're actually able to roll in your down payment into the loan and basically come out of pocket maybe a couple $100, maybe $1,000 for processing fees. So I was able to take a $14,000 down payment and get it all the way down to $3,000 because they call it seller concessions, where they put those fees on the seller side, which eventually came out of the closing price for the house. So the money came from the bank to fund the seller. Instead of the seller making what they wanted, it was minus $10,000-$11,000. And to justify that on the purchase agreement, we talked to the homeowner and let them know, say, hey, we want to do a creative finance contract, and we're going to give you $11,000 more than what you're asking, only because we're going to be covering fees and down payment inside of closing, which is going to go towards the closing costs that you're responsible for. That's just one way of making it happen, guys. Listen, I'm not here to tease you guys with the best deals. You're going to have tens, if not hundreds, of bad leads. It's going to take some time, weeks, maybe months, before you start getting some motion. But I'm just curious, what kind of strategies do you hear in this video that you want me to dive deep on? This is a raw video. There's no editing here. There's no scripting. There's no edits. This is just a raw video to connect with you guys and let you know how deep I'm in the game. If you want to learn more, I have a Discord course, a VIP membership, and a travel lifestyle company. I'm going to be dropping a link in the description. But just curious, you want to get involved? Let me know. Drop in the comments what you guys want to talk about the next video. I was thinking giving you guys a property tour, maybe to go meet a seller for the first time. How about that, guys? See y'all soon.